Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast on Ashes of Typhon. Starting off we have Paranoid Kamikaze, also known as PK, starting off on the blue side as the Force Commander. On the red side we have Wise Windu playing as that Warp Spider Exarch. You can see that Paranoid Kami going for a bit of a more economical start, going for the requisition and power. Wise Windu going for a bit of a more aggressive start, going for that victory point instead to try and bleed down some VPs. Already a power node going down for Wise Windu. Looks like he's going to be skipping his third squad, going to be skipping that second Dire Avenger squad that you see held up by sometimes. Meanwhile, Paranoid Kami going to go for those double scouts. Not really much to say in the very first few minutes of the game, but we'll have our first engagement any second here between the Warp Spider and some tactical Marines. Warp Spider out of cover, goes and seeks some yellow cover. I think that's yellow cover on the left hand side here. Tactical Marines moving in, Banshees wandering through mid. Do need to be careful of them against your tactical Marines. As much tactical Marines are able to do okay in melee, they really do not do well against Banshees since they are power melee. Warp Spider forced to teleport away. Banshees coming in though, Force Commander not close enough to his tactical Marines here. Banshees going to carry on moving forward, and it looks like it's just going to carry on being a standoff. Tactical Marines trying to get some extra shots in onto these Banshees, but nothing really comes of it. Tactical Marines could go in for a decap here. Force Commander can sit on top of his Tactical Marines and make sure that they are protected. Some scouts coming in though. Looks like the scouts are going to be doing the decapping instead, and Tactical Marines could actually decap this requisition point that has been halfway matured. Instead they carry on moving forward here. Looks like he really wants to force a fight here against Wise Windu, but instead decides to pull away and go in for the decaps instead. Scouts about to capture this power over here, but the Warp Spider trying to come in as well, and will try and attack these scouts. He gets behind some yellow cover, starts firing away. Dire Avenger's coming in as well. Banshee's going to be bashing the power node as well. Scouts should probably just retreat from here or try and buy some time if they can. I don't think they can actually buy much time given the low health pool that they actually have. Paranoid Kami trying to actually retaliate here with a power bash of his own, but only to be met by a Guardian Weapons team. Windu going for a very light tier 1 build, can actually get a tier 1.5 unit out very quickly by also putting down the power node's generator and the power node over here on the right hand side. Meanwhile, Paranoid Kami in control of the entire left hand side of the map right now, in control of the two VPs, almost in control of the two requisition points, in control of his natural, and has also decapped Wise Windu's natural requisition point as well. However, losing his own power to these Banshees, also having it decapped, will put him at a bit of a disadvantage here. But he will have plenty of requisition to actually repurchase all this Banshee model. Going to be going down on retreat here. Force Commander coming in, Dire Avengers running away. The requisition point as well also decapped, and also the power node even in control of Wise Windu's favour. Scouts actually flanking the Guardian Weapons team over here, trying to do what they can. They're actually taking a lot of damage from the Shuriken Cannon's retinue here. The Guardians protecting this Shuriken Catapult are doing really well actually. The Scouts getting meleeed down by that Guardian Weapons team is not something you actually see very often. The Scouts are losing in melee to a Guardian Weapons team. But they are definitely losing that engagement. Force Commander going to be tying up that second Guardian Weapons team. Guardian Weapons team actually bleeding the model. Scouts retreating away. Some melee getting forced onto the retreat of these Scouts, and not going to be enough. Scouts will get away there with 3 models. Guardian Weapons team will lose a model to meleeing Scouts. I never really expected myself to say such a thing, but second Guardian Weapons team should be able to get away without losing a single model. That second Guardian Weapons team capping down here. Force Commander going to be backing away. ASM on the field though, and they are going to be jumping in, preventing that Guardian Weapons team from being able to capture the requisition point. However, a second one has been set up here, going to be forcing those ASM back to base, and Scouts in the meantime are just going around capturing all that was decapped here by Wise Windu. But still, this natural requisition has been denied for Windu. We'll go and capture it now with some Dire Avengers. Warp Spider going to go mid to the contested power, going to go and cap that contested power as well. We also have an aspect of a strength onto our Banshees as well. Guardian Weapons team now set up, and once again no upgrades for either Scout squad here for Paranoid Kami, no upgrades for the Force Commander yet, just ASM as his only power purchase. might be a bit worried about being behind on power, given that Windu did get a decap against his power, while Windu actually maintained a generator and 2 power nodes at the same time. So it might be trying to go for a lighter power tier 1 in order to compensate for that. But Banshee's coming in mid. I don't think anything's nearby. ASM are actually nearby, jumping in here, going to try and protect these Tactical Marines. Banshee is going to get forced away here, and Tactical Marines do not lose a model. In fact, they only lost 200 HP there. But ASM's now down on energy, won't be able to double jump, will be able to single jump. They actually single jump in here now onto the Guardian Weapons team. They don't actually know what was ahead or what was surrounding the Guardian Weapons team. They knew the Banshees were forced off, but the second Guardian Weapons team going to be setting up here, going to be protecting it, and there's no jump on the ASMs, and Crackshot also placed onto that Guardian Weapons team, going to allow them to do a lot more damage. 25% extra damage and an extra 7 range, I believe, are the stats from Crackshot. Paranoid Kami going to be the first person to take up to tier 2, whereas Windu is a little bit behind in terms of power. 80 power stored up, needs another 45 to take up here, but is in control of the VP lead by a short amount. 386 VPs to 422. Force Commander going to be tying up some Dire Avengers over here. Banshee's also going to be bashing the power node mid. Guardian Weapons team also setting up the Warp Spider Exarch, taking a lot of damage from these Tactical Marines and Scouts. Very low here, 85 HP, but will still carry on going around the map and not retreat away. Meanwhile, in mid, Windu trying to take control of it. The Warp Spider teleporting in once again, trying to get away from some Scouts in mid. Very low off at 73, maybe should go back to base and just regen instead. But Scouts in mid going to be forced away by some Dire Avengers. Warp Spider just about retreats away right now. Going to go back to base and heal up, since he can't really do much and has to be extremely careful, skirting the map at 70 HP. Banshee's in mid, going in for a decap against the power node. Will probably back away once they've got a decap. Tactical Marines do need to be a bit careful. In fact, Banshee's actually jumping on the Tactical Marines. ASM are here though, and Banshees will be forced away. Could even lose a model here, but doesn't look like they will. Scouts going to be stopped here by Guardian Weapons team. ASM could actually jump over this wall in mid, I believe. Instead, choosing to jump in aggressively in mid. Grenade does get thrown, but ASM leap into combat even further, dodging that grenade, and ASM will just flank this Guardian Weapons team instead, although it's resetting up into the other direction now, and ASM will be forced to jump once again, down to no energy whatsoever. We do have a Razorback coming out for Paranoid Kami. Meanwhile, Windu taking up to tier 2 still. In fact, the Razorback was just cancelled. Scouts, meanwhile, on the left-hand side, going in for some capping as well. Recaptured the natural victory point and requisition point. ASM's going to be trying to bash the power with some Tactical Marines, but Windu exiting base with all of his units available right now. Paranoid Kami will need to be careful. Banshees is fleeting in onto the Tactical Marines, will be retreating away. ASM will get the generator along with the Force Commander and will retreat away as well. Very large map, so retreating away does actually cost quite a bit when it costs a lot of time, given how large the map is and how far you have also pushed as well. So Windu should have an opportunity now to actually reclaim a lot of the map back towards himself and actually get himself set up with the double Guardian Weapons team, having them layered with each other. And you already see him going in for the power straight away as soon as Paranoid Kami retreated, chased all the way to base, and is already trying to bash some power now with these ASMs. Exarch also purchased teleporting Force Commander though with the Thunder Hammer. Will actually take down some Banshees, or won't take down any Banshees whatsoever. It just does a lot of damage to the squad overall, and they get away with all their models. Meanwhile, some sneaky Scouts over here going to get a cap onto this requisition point here of Windu's, and I don't know if he's actually noticed it or not. He doesn't actually have any units in the area to really deal with it. We also have a fast Falcon on the way here for Windu. Tactical Marine Sergeants coming in. ASM Sergeant also purchased, I think. We have 2 Tactical Marine Sergeants. Could see a Sternguard squad hit from Paranoid Kami, because he did get that drop pod to reinforce his units. Entangling Web onto the ASMs, going to be locking them in place here. Tactical Marines so pushing in. ASM going to be trying to jump on that, going to try and jump on that Warp Spider. ASM will jump once again. Oh wow, the ASM Sergeant's actually gone down here. The very first model at full health. The ASM have actually lost their Sergeant already. That's really unfortunate there. The Guardian Weapons team and Warp Spider must have really focused down that Sergeant then to actually get a kill on him. But Tactical Marines going to be making their way through mid now. Double Tactical Marines with Sergeants on both squads. Going to be a lot of piercing damage here. and also the ability to break suppression as well with They Shall Know No Fear as well. Going to be charging that up on both Tactical Marine squads, I imagine. I think that's why he's gone for double sergeants here, so you can actually break suppression through that. Banshees though chasing some ASMs, reinforcing on that Falcon, taking down 2 models here on retreat. Banshees though gained very low as a squad. They Shall Know No Fear is not charged up in these Tactical Marines. You need to take 1200 damage in order for it to be charged up and ready to use. Also very good as a melee counter, as you're allowed to 50 or special units 50% of the time in melee combat. Very effective as a melee counter, a suppression team counter, just very good counters overall. But it does take a while to charge up at 1200 health. You will probably bleed some models trying to charge up or trying to take 1200 health of damage. So there is that drawback to it, and the fact that you can't just do it when you want. You just need to let some tax die or be very precise with who takes damage. But otherwise, Windu going to be reclaiming back that natural requisition point. Also going to be reclaiming the left hand side. There are Avengers on that left hand side. Maybe we should have a separate unit to actually keep the Falcon supported, and a separate unit to have this left hand side protected just in case Paranoid Kami gets some AV and you want to protect this Falcon. Give it some emergency repairs. Don't think he has got any AV. He's actually got a missile launcher on, so one of his Tactical Marines could even see a Melsa bomb onto his Assault Space Marines as well, just to slow it down, allow the missile launcher Tactical Marines to actually catch up to the Falcon, since it is a bit of a faster vehicle, or a bit of a annoying vehicle to actually chase down with just Tactical Marines. But ASM coming in here, the Warp Spider teleports in, going to be forced away as he tries to get a decap onto this half-matured requisition point. And we have scouts on the left hand side reclaiming what Windu has captured, the victory point and the requisition point, which is actually fully matured here for Windu as well, so definitely want to get a decap on that. But no upgrades on either scout squad throughout this game, though we have a lot of upgrades on our Tactical Marines and ASM. Force Commander though going to be going in here, going to be interrupting both Banshees and Guardian Weapons team. ASM going to be jumping onto that second Guardian Weapons team. That first one is actually going to go down. ASM going to try and do what it can here, but Banshees coming in to actually fight the ASM for the Emperor on these Tactical Marines, going to be trying to take down the Falcon as well. One shot doing a lot of damage. Banshees though taking lots and lots of damage here. Could even get wiped here, but the suppression from that second Guardian Weapons team will be enough to slow the ASMs down. Unable to actually finish that Banshee squad off. 11 HP. Tactical Marines going to be pushing in. Sergeant on the ASM has gone down. Crack shot onto the Guardian Weapons team is actually going to cause it to go down, or not cause it to go down, but the Tactical Marines will be able to get enough shots in and it will be forced down. Warp Spiders coming in here. They Shall Know No Fear getting used here onto the Tactical Marines, reduces incoming range damage as well by 50%, I believe, and also makes you very slow as well. The Exarch has been purchased here. Aspect of the Warp Spider also going to get purchased for this Warp Spider squad. Aspects of the Warp Spider does give you the dual death spinners for your Exarch, also gives you the Haywire Grenade ability, and we see the model getting repurchased here from the Falcon on this left here. With the Falcon does need to be a bit careful here. Warp Spider going to be tying up that Tactical Marine squad with the missile launcher. The Falcon very aggressively driving in here. If the missile launcher just gets a single shot, that Falcon would have gone down, but very aggressive play here by Windu. And we also have a Tactical Marine Sergeant going to go down here for these missile launch attacks. These second Tactical Marine should get out as well before they lose their own Sergeant as well. Paranoid Kami very unlucky, losing Sergeants twice in a row here as the first model for both his Tactical Marines and his ASMs here. But some big losses here for Windu in the sense that he has lost 2 Guardian Weapons teams and has bled quite a few models as well. Meanwhile, scouts on the left hand side going to get forced away by some Banshees. Dire Avengers in the meantime have been on that left hand side the entire time. But it might be time to actually bring them back to base and get some repairs on that Falcon so it can actually get used once again. Otherwise it's going to be extremely risky to have it out of the field with 46 HP. A missile launcher hit could take it out. Some melee from the Force Commander and ASMs could even finish it at 46 HP, to be honest. So really need to get these Dyers back. You can see them fleeting away. ASM's coming in on the left hand side as well. Going to try and get some decaps. Going to try and reclaim some map control. 154 VPs, 343. Very much in control of Wise Windu right now. Warp Spider's going to be defending this contested victory point in mid. Scouts coming in, double scouts coming in actually. So the ASM decides to leave. Paranoid Kami might be regrouping here so we can actually go in for another fight. Some Devastators also getting purchased here, which is a bit of an interesting choice. I don't think he's going to be buying AEV with it, but also an interesting choice given that it's the Warp Spider Exarch and that there are also Warp Spiders on the map as well. So maybe he's actually going to leave them set up to try and defend the victory point here then. But Banshee's coming in here though, only to be met by the Force Command with the Thunder Hammer. ASM's on retreat as well. Banshee should be fine. Warp Spiders and the Warp Spider Exarch though need to be a bit careful here, need to have that teleport ready to go in case the ASMs decide to jump in here. In fact, they prematurely jump away, just don't want any part of that right now. Tactical Marines, as much as Warp Spiders have a lot of piercing DPS, they are also extremely fragile units. 720 health without an Exarch, and with an Exarch is only 920. It's very easy for models to bleed as well, and you can see here 2 models bleeding there. ASM going to be jumping in onto that Falcon. Banshee's coming in, Melter Bomb gets thrown down, but 4-second timer though, is it going to be enough? Tactical Marines coming in, the Warp Spider Exarch tying up those Tactical Marines in melee combat. ASM though bleeding models here. In fact, everyone's trying to melee down the Falcon. We do have the Merciless Strike going down. ASM really needs to get out of here though. They really need to retreat away. Same for these Tactical Marines. They're extremely low right now. More they shall know no fear. Trying to force melee onto that Warp Spider. Gain these specials against him. ASM though extremely low, right? Retreating away a bit too late here. Will go down. Tactical Marines extremely low here. And it's going to be a full retreat here for Paranoid Kami. Jumping in very aggressively here. Very close outside of Windu's base. Maybe he should have waited for Windu to try and come a bit closer towards him. The Devastator set up on that left hand side. Scout's going to get forced away as Windu fleets in through mid. Look how quick those Banshees are. Warp Spiders though going to be forcing melee onto these Devastators. When you also have the aspect of the Warp Spider, the Exarch does do power melee with the power blades on the Warp Spiders. Let me actually click on the squad. And you can see them actually doing quite well against these Devastators melee. In fact, even with the 20% melee resistance, it's not going to be enough, and that Warp Spider Exarch leading the squad is going to get 2 sync kills in a row here. The same sync kill twice in a row, so not as impressive, but still. And Warp Spider is going to be forcing even more melee. This Warp Spider Exarch leading the squad, doing pretty well in melee here for Windu, actually killing the Devastator squad, forcing off a Scout squad, and another sync kill once again. It's the same sync kill over and over. Must be sick of that same move constantly, but Warp Spiders actually do lose their Exarch, but wiping Devastator squad and also doing a lot of damage, bleeding some Scouts as well. It's definitely worth it. And on top of that, they are level 3 now, and this was the second Warp Spider squad to come in here as well, so they've leveled up very quickly by doing all of that. Because they were alone while killing these Devastators and these Scouts, they gained all the XP from it. And these other Warp Spiders, the initial ones, level 2, do finish off a Scout squad here as well. 48 VPs though to 343. This game looking very much in favour of Wise Windu right now. A Dreadnought though is about to come out for Paranoid Kami. I'm not too sure about this Dreadnought with there being 2 Warp Spider squads on the field along with a Falcon, which does do some soft AV damage. Both Warp Spider squads actually have the aspect of the Warp Spider already, because you can see the power melee, how effective it's been already against these Devastators and Scouts. But at the same time, Dreadnought can have a big impact. Although 2 Haywire Grenades, I am not too sure about this decision. We also have the power, which is not getting repurchased here by Windu. He has actually got a lot of power in the bank right now. In fact, 222 power in the bank. Don't really need any more power beyond that unless you're going to take up to tier 3 and get a Seer Council or an Avatar or a Fire Prism or something like that really. But 1 Scout squad has died, only a single Scout squad left to support the Dreadnought now. Warp Spiders though on that contested VP, going to get jumped on by the Force Commander here. You need to be careful. Outcry is now activated, the Exarch game pops there straight away, and the Warp Spiders going to be backing away from here. Tactical Marines with a missile launcher trying to fire away at that Falcon. Dreadnought coming in. Warp Spiders going to force melee here by the looks of things. But the Emperor's Fist is going to be stunning both squads, knocking both of them over. Wow, that Dreadnought is just clawing through some units here. Level 1, but nearly wiping Banshees. Warp Spiders are forced away as well. Force Commander in mid. just tanking a lot of damage right now. Iron Halo even getting purchased as well. But the Force Commander not tanky enough, will be forced away there. Warp Spider with the Entangling Web and Warp Spider squad as well, going to be doing a bit too much piercing damage, going to be forcing him away, but at the same time Paranoid Kami in control of the two left-hand VPs will be a 2-to-1 cap at the very least, will slowly catch up on the VPs against Wise Windu, 44 VPs to 313. Wise Windu going to be taking up to tier 3 though, still has a lot of power in the bank, so you can actually get a tier 3 unit out such as Aesir Council, Fire Prism. Can't get an Avatar out, but can get one of those two out, and maybe a Seer Council could be okay since he's got enough AV counters just to tie up these tactical marines, or we could always get a Fire Prism and just kite the Dreadnought and poke and prod from such a great distance. But Banshee's going to be fleeting in here, no Exarch though. Falcon also driving in very close to Dreadnought, sitting here 700 HP, does need to be a bit careful. Emperor's Fist going down a little bit prematurely, only catching down a single Banshee model, but will kill 3 Banshee models with that Dreadnought. And Falcon is going to have to back away. The Banshee's going to struggle to lead a charge against the Dreadnought here right now, especially in such a narrow alley corner. I don't know what you want to really call it, it's not really an alleyway, but in such a narrow place as well. But the Force Commander getting forced away, I think. Well, no, he's actually coming in to try and chase down that Warp Spider, but we do have another Tactical Marine squad here for the Emperor and a Sergeant as well on these Tactical Marines that have just been called in. I think there was a second drop pod here as well. We still have this webway gate here to the left. We could actually see Windu use that to get very close to the Dreadnought without it being seen as such. But Emperor's Fist, once again, very nice use of it, going to be stunning those Banshees. That Falcon driving in extremely close. Tactical Marines could get one more missile hit, only to get tied up by these Warp Spiders. Banshees also able to get in here as well. That is a dead Tactical Marine squad. In fact, I think the Sergeant was the only unit alive, that's why it had no missile launcher. It was only firing the bolt pistol. The Sergeant does not get the missile launcher when he is the last member alive in the squad, which can be very annoying. But there's no reinforcement here for Paranoid Kami. Maybe a drop pod over here would have been a really good idea, in fact, so you could actually reinforce in the field in the same way that Windu's reinforcing with this Falcon. But the Force Commander going to be fighting some Warp Spiders here. It's a triple cap for him right now. 160 VPs for Windu, 44 for Paranoid Kami. Banshee is going to try and melee down this Dreadnought. No Exarch on them, so there's no heavy melee for them. Windu struggling to actually get the requisition to even get out a tier 3 unit. He's been tier 3 now for a little bit, but because he does not have the requisition, he's bleeding a lot of models here. You can just see him not able to get that tier 3 unit out. Force Commander though going to be forcing off these Warp Spiders. A 2-0 cap though for Paranoid Kami. More Tactical Marines here for Paranoid Kami. Paranoid Kami actually has a lot of resources, can also get out some more stuff. Another Tactical Marine Sergeant. He does seem to love these Tactical Marines throughout the game. Looks like he's going to make a big push onto the right hand side contested VP. Banshee Exarch actually getting purchased here for Windu, which is quite surprising this late in the game, given that he didn't actually buy one earlier. But he's going to try and go in for that cap on the right hand side. Do need to be careful though, because Tactical Marines, there's no counters for these Banshees right now. Force Commander is on that left hand side fighting the Falcon by himself and also tearing down a webway gate. But an Eldritch going to go down here on these Tactical Marines. They just got insta-gibbed there by that Eldritch. Bolts landing right on top of them. Banshees were forced away, but the Eldritch though, it was very destructive, killing a full Tactical Marine squad with a Sergeant. PK needs to push in on that right hand side quickly. Warp Spider set up here, doing a lot of damage. Scout's going to be coming in here, could see a shotgun blast. Won't be able to get that shotgun blast, but for the Emperor on these Tactical Marines, going to try and go in here. And Paranoid Kami's actually got a lot of red right now, so he can spam that for the Emperor as much as he wants. Some more Tactical Marines going to be coming out for him. I think maybe a different unit would have been a good idea here. But 44 VPs to 47, he has caught up to Windu right now. Falcon unable to cap that VP, but Dire Avengers exiting the Falcon are able to cap. And the webway gate that wasn't spotted here. Banshee is going to be coming out, shotgun blast, going to be going onto them, not actually knocking them down, only knocking down one model there. Paranoid Kami calls GG, Windu calls GG, and Wise Windu will actually win the game here. And given that Paranoid Kami had a lot of requisition and power just saved up and stored, I think some fully upgraded scouts could have maybe gone a long way in this matchup against Eldar, especially against the double Guardian Weapons teams earlier on. but that's going to be game. Windu is going to be the winner, even though he's actually lower on VPs. Paranoid Kami is going to be the one to concede, so Windu is the winner.